The objective of Glove Box Station 1 is to assemble the glove box. The equipment used is a height-adjustable workbench, rack, work table, and garbage can. The tools used include a staple gun, heat gun, scissors, and a razor blade. The materials used were the glove box, staples, and vinyl. This photo illustrates the workstation and the dimensions of the workplace. The worker that was observed was 5 feet 7 inches tall and right-handed. Worker height affects how they interact with the work table and how they manage the glove box. The process for the glove box station is to get the part from the work table and inspect the part. Then, position the part on the workbench. Using the razor blade, an X is cut through the vinyl. With the right hand, use the heat gun and heat the vinyl X while the left hand is holding the part above the work table. Next, get the staple gun and staple the cut sections to the part, pulling vinyl with the left hand and activating the staple gun with the right hand. Then staple outer edges of vinyl to the part. Trim excess vinyl using the razor blade around the outer edge and the X, and then dump excess vinyl into the garbage can. Inspect the part, then staple it again if necessary. Finally, position the part on the next workbench. This job was high-paced, with hands in steady motion and constant exertion to assemble the glove box. The workers experienced sustained exertions from continuous standing, constrained torso and neck flexion, or forward bending, and continuous wrist deviation, or sideways bending, to activate the staple gun. Forceful exertions were required when the pinch grip was used to pull vinyl and to activate the staple gun, to cut the vinyl with the razor blade, and to hold the heat gun and part. Identified awkward postures included neck flexion, torso flexion, and wrist deviation to staple and cut the vinyl. Elevated arm and torso lateral bending were also observed to staple the vinyl. In addition, wrist extension was observed to position the heat gun. Localized contact stress between the fingers, hands, and forearm and edges of the tools and the part was observed. There was also contact stress between the torso and the edge of the workbench. Overall, this was a high-paced job requiring forceful exertions to pull, position, cut, and staple vinyl. In addition, localized contact stress between the torso, arm, hands, and fingers and the parts, tools, and workbench were observed. Finally, awkward postures of the torso, neck, arms, and hands were also observed. The following recommendations were made. Investigate height and tilt adjustable workbench to decrease posture stress. Develop a worker training module on workbench adjustment during each work cycle to minimize awkward postures during each work task. Consider positioning padding on the front edge of the workbench to decrease contact stress. Investigate using fixtures to pull and hold vinyl in position while stapling to decrease forceful exertions. Investigate using the staple gun and heat gun in a vertical position to decrease posture stress.